any discussion you want to do in this, please tell me. The SCARA robot, the vertical and all these I told. Now, I hope you can able to write them. This will be having. See the differences I have written. You can able to see this, Varun?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See the differences. The coordinates, Cartesian coordinates will be having the coordinates x, y, z. The cylindrical will be having r theta z, and the spherical will be having r theta phi, and another one articulate will be having theta 1, theta 2, theta 3, or theta 5, theta something you can write, no problem. And the joints will be 3L, all will be linear. In case of this Cartesian, in case of cylinder, 2 will be linear, 1 will be rotational, and in case of spherical, 1 will be linear and 2 will be rotational. In case of articulated, it will be all these will be this one. And work volume, will be Cartesian, and this will be cylindrical. This will be spherical.
Spherical.
I think you can able to clearly understand, and it will be undefined. We cannot able to define it, very complicated. Okay, and it's mechanical stability. Okay, mechanical stability and repeatability accuracy, you can write it. Okay, mechanical stability will be very good here, and it will be good enough, but it will not be good. This will be better than these two, but it will be worse than this. Mechanical stability of this will be worse than these two, and it will be better than this. And mechanical stability of this is worse than all these three. And the application wise, we can use it for the pick and place, and this can be used for the pick and place. Additionally, we can go for the simple painting and the spraying operations and welding operations. And this one, along with this pick and place, simple welding and the spraying operations, it can able to do a complicated spraying and paint spraying and the welding operations and simple assembly operations. And this can be able to do machine vision and all this. Okay, here applications. Pick and place, and this will be pick and place. Okay, along with this, what? Welding operations and simple paint spray. This along with all this, it can able to do complex painting and spraying, and another one simple assembly operations. And what it can do? It can do all these. See here only you can able to understand. It can do all this, and additionally it can do machine vision applications. Machine vision applications, in the sense, if you say all these will come into the picture. Any complicated paint spray operation and all these, whatever you say, all these will come into the picture. You are understanding? Are you understood? These are all the applications. Sir. Yeah, applications. And remaining all you can able to remember that, and you can write it. I'll be sending this. Okay, I'll be sending this to you, and you can able to use it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you keep this for your reference. It will be good enough. And next,
Okay,
let me
sir.
come to, yeah.
Sir,
Let me come.
ಹೇಗೆ ಅದ್ ಬರೆದ್ರು explain ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್ ಅದು
Yeah,
table?
it is enough. Yeah, that is what. Kindly let me have the interaction. You this once they ask, you write these simple drawings which I shown you just now. Okay, just now I shown the simple drawings. These drawings I'll be sending along with this. Okay, along with this I'll be sending. You can write these drawings. Enough. It is more than enough, because you'll not be having more time to write all those. Correct? No. For 8 months, how much you can write, or 10 months, how much you can write. Okay, so these are the important this one I'll be sending in the group. You can make a note of it, you can take. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
I'll be sending in the group itself immediately. Once you I give leisure, I'll be sending it. Okay, next. So this is about the robot configurations. And any discussions are there? Let me have the interaction for 1 minute. I'll be giving. Any discussion is there? Please tell me.
No, sir. Nothing, sir.
See, the robot technology is not so simple one. The mathematics behind this is very, very complicated. As I told you, Danavitt and Herzenberg relations will be used. Actually, this is not there for your syllabus. It was very good. Just like how I am identifying a point on my head without looking on just my finger, I'm going to touch it exactly at the same location. In the similar way, if the robot has to do, we have to incorporate so many the global and the local coordinates, global, local and rotating coordinates. This will be very, very complicated to understand. If I tell you also, one day we'll have the seminar on this, so it will be very good. Who they want to further want to work on this, it will be helping you. Okay, now let me come to the robot programming methods. Very important portion, robot programming. The robot programming is not, I'm not talking about the programs, the method by which you are going to input the programs. The method by which you are going to input the program is the programming method. Okay, robot programming, we have two types of programs. One is online programming and another one is offline programming. See, all these, whatever these are there, manual programming, lead through programming, computer like programming, computer graphics simulation. These are all the, and now I am not going to take this computer graphics simulation. I don't want to take it. Only the manual programming, lead through programming and the computer like programming. Okay, in this just slightly modification I'll do and send it to you. There are two programming methods. One is online programming and other one is a offline programming. Okay, here okay, just let me have online programming and another one is a offline programming. In offline programming we have lead through programming and computer like programming. Through programming and computer like programming. Okay, lead through programming and computer like programming. And another one under this lead through programming, Okay, under this lead through programming, we have manual and another one which I was telling here, powered and manual. Okay, powered. Okay, powered. And powered programming. Okay, these are the three important things which we have to discuss. See, what is this online programming and what is this offline programming? We'll have discussion. Online programming is we are going to disturb the activities of the robot which is into the work cell, and we are going to train up this robot. Okay, we are going to train off this robot by using this method. Okay. Now I don't want to confuse you by putting this slide. Okay, and manual method, you understood, I think, the offline programming and online programming. Offline programming is, offline programming, as the name indicates, we are doing the programming off the line by sitting at office or by sitting somewhere else. We are not in contact with the robot at all. We do the programming, we look into the simulation, and once it is ready, we are going to put it into the robot controller to work. Okay, it is offline programming. Okay, these are the two important methods. And in this online programming, all these will be coming under online programming. All these manual programming. Okay, and this I don't want to. Okay, lead through computerized programming, computer graphics and simulation will be coming under online programming. So online programming, all these will be coming under. And now let me discuss something, a lead through programming. Just like you are having the joystick, you can see here the robot which I have shown, there will be a teach pendant. Okay, teach pendant will be there, and whatever the passion of movement you required, we are going to move the robot by using this teach pendant, and the series of motions which have been generated, this will be giving, or this path will be remembered by the controller. You understood my point? For example, I want to move like this by using this joystick or a key pendant. We are going to move this. The series of movements, these will be stored into the robot controller and it will be replayed. Are you understanding me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And once a particular path are required, for example, this particular path is required. For this path, by using the teach pendant, I am going to teach this as an element, teach pendant. The teach pendant will be used to teach the robot end effector. The robot end effector will be moved. For example, this particular path is not correct. I want to do the editing. It is possible to do the editing by once again replaying here at this particular location. So like that, once you feel that the path which you have generated by using the teach pendant is right, and then that particular series of movements, that is x1 y1 z1, x2 y2 z2, x3 y3 z3, like that, closely spaced point, that will be forming the curves, splines. Spline is different, the curve is different. Curve is on a single two planes, spline will be in the three planes. Okay, the spline will be having the x, y, z coordinates. The spline's curve which will be generated, that will be redefined by the robot controller mathematically, and it will be stored into the controller and it can be replayed many times. This is called a teach pendant method. And another the powered lead through programming is this. You can see here a powered lead through programming is this, or walkthrough programming. Okay, walkthrough programming or powered. This is, but for the certain time, what we are going to do is the end effector of the robot will be taken and we are going to move in whatever the way required. We are going to teach just like you are holding the children hand and just we are letting them to write ABCD. In the similar way here we can write it. We can show the path, a delicate path can be shown. Okay, these series of movements will be stored in the controller. That is walkthrough programming. Just I was talking some in movies and all, or in a teleoperated robot. For example, the doctor is sitting in America. He want to operate the patient. He is at Bangalore. He can operate this one by using the walkthrough programming or lead through programming. Okay, just the doctor will be working with just in a dry hand. He'll be moving. The robot will be operating here. That is teleoperated robot. Okay, and robot programming languages are not required. Okay, but anyhow, just I'll be giving a small introduction, which will be giving you a little more inspiration to get into the robotics. Now, rightly now we are using so many languages are available. Okay, so many languages are available. The programmings are also available. The shop floor methods are also available. Okay, and okay, among them, just Victor's assembly language, VAL, I told you, I have written. You can say T3 funky language, Victor's assembly language, Victor's assembly language 2, MAL, machine assembly language. Okay, all these along with, now these are all the old versions when the book was written earlier. Now we are into era of the sound robot, or the expression robot, and all these. By looking at the expression, by hearing the sound or commands, it can able to perform, having its personal intelligence. Okay, and I am not discussing more about this. Okay, and if you have any kind of discussion, you can do in this. Okay, now before I come to the application point of view, I'll be taking to the different the sensors which are available with the robots. There are basically two types of robots sensors. One is intrinsic robot sensor and another one is extrinsic robot sensor. The intrinsic or internal robot is the internal robot sensor is that which will be fitted into the robot itself for the designer. The manufacturer will be fitted into this. We are not going to have any kind of scope for changing this. And we are talking about the external sensors. We are talking about the external sensors, and these sensors are two types. One is a proximity sensor and distance sensor or range sensor. The proximity sensor is that one when anything which is come in contact with, that will be sensing. And the range sensor is one, just like obstacle which is passing through, it can able to sense the presence or absence of the object. Okay, and here I have given so many tactile sensor, proximity and range sensor, and miscellaneous sensors, robot vision applications, are some things I have written. And here you can see a simple mechanical gripper is one, a mechanical gripper. Okay, it is a mechanical gripper, and in this gripper there will be series of sensors fixed at here. There will be series of sensors fixed here. These are called the mat of sensors. A series of sensors will be fixed, and like that, just all those are the parts where the different sensors can be fixed. For example, the robot has to protect itself from the work cell element. Robot skin will be formed nowadays by using some very special type of shape memory alloys will be used to as a cover. Just like my skin will be reacting. For example, my skin will be reacting for the change in the temperature. In the similar way, anything or any obstacle is touching the robot manipulator, it can able to find out, or it can able to sense it by using the shape memory alloys. Once there is a small, just like you are going to put a small the nail on the skin, what happens? We can feel the pain of it. In the similar way, any part is touching the skin of the robot, what happens? That particular part will be deformed and there will be change in the strain. The change in the strain will be proportional to the force applied. And if the force applied is within the designed force, then what happens? The robot will not sense or will not show any kind of reaction. If it is well below above the designed forces, if it is slightly harming for the robot manipulator, then it will show the reaction. Like that, the shape memory alloys and so many composite material also used to as a robot skin nowadays. Okay, now my scope of discussion is not that, and some of the robot sensors I'll be taking. Okay, first let me have discussion about the inductive sensor. Very important. So I am talking about the inductive sensor, a capacitive sensor, array sensor, a triangulation lighting technique, structural lighting technique. All these are some of the sensors we'll be looking into. The inductive sensor, you are understanding me?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. If you feel difficult in writing the figure also, please tell me. I'll write the figure and show it to you. The inductive sensor, see, all these sensors will be having their own application. Now you are in the 6th semester, you are not only studying it, you are going to apply it in future. And the selection of the sensors will be very, very important. For example, I want to use a sensor which can able to detect the part on the conveyor which is coming. There, the engineer has to think himself whether the parts which are coming are metallic or non-metallic. If the parts coming are metallic, then we can use the inductive sensors. Correct, no? Which can able to sense the metals. Those sensors can be used. And if the part is moving is a plastic one, and what kind of sensors can be used? Okay, all these will be a matter. The selection of the robot, the range of sensitivity is very, very important. Correct, no? Robot sensors, how the sensor should be. Sensor should have very good, see, some sensors will be used for the teleoperated, even any robot which is sent to the moon, which can able to sense and send the signals to the station here. That will be a very range and delicate sensor. Correct, no? The repeatability, the range of sensitivity, and the calibration, all these are mattering. Okay, what is the calibration? Let me have a small discussion about the calibration. What is calibration? Once any question is asked, whether